All right, welcome back to the Malapert Smart podcast. We are very excited to be talking some classic wrestling in this segment. I know it's what Vlad, the wrestling expert, looks forward to most out of all the segments we talk about. We talk modern AEW, we talk modern WWE, but we try to at least go back and get a taste of the old stuff just to clear our palate and remember why we even fell in love with wrestling in the first place. So Vlad, the wrestling expert, is here. He followed this storyline as it happened back in 1996. Robert, the Frozen Asian, did not, so this is all new and fresh to him, mostly. I think a lot of clips are very famous and iconic enough that they show up from time to time just watching wrestling, watching WWE and stuff. Robert, say hello. Thank you for joining us.
What's up, guys?
All right. So we're up to part 6. We've already covered a few weeks of Hogan after he joined the NWO, which was very surprising, at Bash at the Beach. And they've been running roughshod on this company, giving WCW all kinds of problems, not letting their show come off, beating people up in the back. They have gained the World Heavyweight title. Hogan gained the World Heavyweight title from the Giant. And they've just been kind of laughing it up, having a good time, just being bad guys. And they
just beating everybody up.
Last week, we saw them tag up the production truck. The first time they used the spray paint to be like, well, we did call them gang-like the whole time, but now they're literally gang-like, just, spray painting things, spray painting people.
Ric Flair's hair
last week, Chris Benoit, Sting, which was just wild. We're like, what the heck? So we're at a crazy spot, and we're really interested to see the fallout of this. So let's go ahead and let's go back in time. You know what, though? For this episode, I do have to mention a little bit about Saturday night before this Nitro. So the Saturday night on August 31st, there was a couple things, I guess, that I could throw in. I actually had this tape, believe it or not, so I'm going to play. The running storyline is that Nick Patrick, senior referee that has been under fire because everything he does. I also have a playlist about Nick Patrick, Vlad, on our YouTube channel, which I'm going to keep adding videos to. But Nick Patrick has been under fire. Everyone thinks he's getting paid by the NWO, but he's been denying it. So on Saturday night, Mean Gene Okerlund got a hold of Nick Patrick in the locker room to interview him and talk about this whole thing.
Rather alarming for me to see Tony Schiavone last week conduct an interview with this man. He is a senior official at World Championship Wrestling. Nick Patrick, come on in. First of all, I want to qualify any of the statements I say on this or any other television program. In many cases, I play the devil's advocate. But somebody has got to be bringing up these coincidences. If it weren't for me, perhaps nobody would say anything. But you've got to be called, and especially in light of what just happened recently in that match involving Big Bubba Rogers.
Everything that has happened in the ring, there's always been on film, and they have been able to clear me every time. But I have been slandered in the last few weeks by
you. You have been slandered?
Yes, I have been slandered by you. I've listened to every one of the WCW shows. You and Dusty Rhodes have been all over me. Now, we all know where Dusty Rhodes' loyalties really lie and why. But you go back with the Outsiders a whole lot further than I do.
Well, I don't think we should start talking about me. Let's talk about you, Nick Patrick. I know your family. I know your father. I know your family ties and everything to this great sport. And in many instances, you have to do what you have to do. I'm just saying there's been a lot of questionable calls that involve you and no other official.
Well, first off, right now, I want to put an end to some of the lies that's been said about me. I do not have a new sports car. I drive a '94 American-made car. I've lived in the same house for 5 years, and it appraises somewhere between $125 and $150. It's not an extravagant house.
Well, Mean Gene has been giving him shit because he's been driving new cars and said that he bought a new house in Florida last week. So Nick Patrick is denying all this.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
Right, well, I mean, I did bring up these things because I happened to see you in a new sports car, and I did see you in some Giorgio Armani clothing, and that probably was just another coincidence, too.
Well, I'll tell you what's a coincidence. I got to the building here early today, and I saw you pull up in a brand new, beautiful, nice red Mercedes.
Oh, but that's not mine. That's a rental car, and it's not a Mercedes.
Sure, pal.
Thank you very much. Very good, Nick Patrick. Stay tuned. More Saturday night when we come back.
Saturday night. So Saturday night wasn't completely worthless. There was something there for us to watch. There's a paid announcement here from NWO. Hollywood Hogan here.
The whole stage now. Man, we look good up there. We're styling, man. We don't have to sneak around
around anymore. We don't have to hide in the shadows. The NWO. Way to go, guys. We are the champions of the world. We've got the NWO belt. We left the giant land, and now the whole WCW is going to fall at our feet. We hit a home run.
All right, so just a lot of gloating here from Hogan. I'm not going to play this one because it's kind of long. But
Oh, really?
yeah, I'm going to skip through it. But I just wanted to let you know that there was this on Saturday night.
Gotcha. Well, yeah. At this point, this was the B
The
show.
preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
All right, so next is the TV title match. Steven Regal against the TV champion Lex Luger, which we've seen Lex Luger in recent times, but I don't know why I didn't notice that he was the TV champion. I guess he doesn't really carry it around.
Yeah, I never saw him with the belt and those things.
I guess he's not very proud of it, but he is the TV champion here. So here he's facing William Regal, Steven Regal, I guess, as he's known here in WCW. And here's the ending. I jumped towards the end of the match.
The total package, Lex Luger rolling back in. Hey, look at this. We've got outsiders. I can't believe it. I knew it. It's Hall and Nash. The outsiders here on Saturday night. They've got Luger. Oh, they sent him into the post. Luger's down. Stop. Luger, obviously dazed. He's out on he's out. What?
So the outsiders showed up, a surprise appearance on Saturday night. Okay, so, hey, you're watching on Saturday night. You got something good to watch. So Regal's the new TV champion. The NWO costs Lexi his TV title here. So as the war on WCW rages on, this is another little victory for WCW. And they interview Steven Regal backstage after the match. So he's kind of a funny promo. But that's not what I'm here to focus on. We're going to move on to WCW Nitro from September 2nd, 1996. So we're just going to jump right in. The first match here is DDP against Alex Wright, who didn't really do the dance here. He was known as a dancer, kind of like the Disco Inferno. But this is a victory for DDP.
Many times it's cost him. Yeah, cost him right
Nick Patrick's the referee there.
Complaining to Nick
Counting
Patrick,
a little slow there.
with it here now.
But a little slow.
And a 2 count consistently down into a power bomb. Covers the arms with the legs.
Again, a little slow. Come on, Nick Patrick. All right, so how did this match end? I think
Probably Diamond Cutter.
there's a Diamond Cutter. It's a victory for Diamond Dallas Page, who at this point still is a heel.
He's a heel.
I tell you.
That's a victory
All right,
for
thank
him.
you very much, Tony Schiavone and Larry Zbyszko. I'm here with referee Nick Patrick. Nick, I don't want to belabor the subject of your integrity, but again, even in this match, I couldn't help but notice a little slow on the draw.
A little slow on the draw. Well, why don't you watch it back on replay, just like all the other matches, all the other controversy that you have stirred up. You're the man that stirred it up. Now, you say there's controversial calls. If they're that controversial, why am I still here? They've all been reviewed by WCW. I'm still here. Randy Anderson a couple of weeks ago, he blows a call with Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair. You all over his case? No. You're on
That's
my...
true. Hogan did say he quit, but Randy Anderson couldn't call it because he was unconscious from Hogan.
He was unconscious. Exactly. Did he throw him out of the ring or something?
But Nick Patrick says no. He fucked up a call. Why are you always blaming me for everything? But, you know, this was a little nitpicky, though. Come on. Wasn't it? Just because he was counting a little slow? I mean, Gene's right out there on his ass, man. This is intense scrutiny.
My case. You've been on my case awful hard, and I'm sick, and I'm tired of it, Gene Okerlund. You've been spreading lies about me, and I'm here to tell you to your face and to all you people out there, the things that you've been hearing about me are a lie.
You're calling me a liar?
That's exactly what I'm calling you. I am here to enforce the law, and that's what I'm going to do to the letter of the law. Doesn't matter how big you are or who you are. If you're in the ring with me, you better follow the rules.
I think I just been called a liar.
That's a strong
We've got more Nitro coming up after this. Don't go away.
Good promo. You want to give any comments, Vlad, before we move on?
Well, I think, yeah, the same thing you said like either last week or the week before that. There's no AEW or WWE referee that could kind of angle that they got brewing here in today. I don't see it. This guy was a pro, a true pro.
This
Nick
guy
Patrick
could
was
cut a
great.
promo. He was a wrestler. If he could wrestle, he'd be a good wrestler.
Yeah. Well, I don't know his history, but I guess his father was involved in wrestling too, so he has the background, I guess. I don't know the full Nick Patrick wrestling history, but he seems to have ties to wrestling.
Robert, you want to give a comment on referee Nick Patrick's segment today? This has been a running angle for us. We've seen a few of them so far.
I mean, yeah, as far as referees go, I can't think of anybody who does promos like this, so I have nothing more to add than what you guys already mentioned. So,
very believable sounding, right?
Yeah, like he knows what he's going to say. He understands what they're going for. I don't know if it's all coming from his head or how much notes he's being given or what the case may be, but he's doing a great job selling it. Absolutely. Very believable. Absolutely.
We've got more Nitro coming up after this. Don't go away.
Let's see what's coming up.
It's the World Tag Team Champions Harlem Heat against the team of Greg the Hammer Valentine and Buddy Valentino. And you notice we have a brand new referee in WCW. Mark Curtis is the referee here assigned for this one. And
wait, was he checked out by like the FBI, Doug Dillinger, somebody?
You know, Nick Patrick with some very strong words earlier. He was going to call it to the letter of the law. And I think this fact that Mark Curtis is, speaking of here, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, our cameras are following Ted DiBiase live as he is making his way down. And I don't know, we're going to follow him. Has he bought a seat this week or what here?
Well, unfortunately.
Well, he comes in through the crowd, just like Hall and Nash.
Greg the Hammer Valentine.
So is that like a little hint that he's with them, right? I guess that's what everyone suspects.
Last week he also did the thing with his fingers. That was another hint too. Like he was
They
counting
said there's a fourth guy and a fifth guy, so that's what we're anticipating. It's kind of obvious that he's the fourth guy, right, Vlad? I mean, I don't know if you're going to give that a negative.
Is he the fifth man?
That
there can't be anybody else.
I mean, we can
what else could that mean?
It's like the Adam Cole thing in AEW, pretty obvious.
Yeah, I guess.
See, very interesting though, like having them talk about this during this match. It happens a lot during this NWO angle at the beginning. There'll be stuff happening outside of the match, so they'll be kind of distracted by that, but they'll still be having the match in the ring.
Great representatives, but do they have a leader?
Man, we've got the Giant.
Yeah, but the Macho Man's insane.
They're discussing who should lead WCW, and last week we saw that the Macho Man said that the Giant had his chance, and now he's going to try to be the leader of WCW. So that's what the commentators are discussing. It's a big deal. They talk about it the whole show like it matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
well, they also, I think, have set up a match already for Randy Savage versus Hollywood Hogan at the next pay-per-view. I forget if it's what the next pay-per-view is, actually.
Well, the next pay-per-view is War Games. They're going to have...
Oh, no, not War Games. It's going to be...
After that is Halloween Havoc. So
it's at Halloween Havoc is when it's going to be. I think they said. Yes, that's correct. So not the next pay-per-view, but Halloween.
The Giant dropped the ball at Hog Wild.
He's blaming him certainly for all of that. There's a great drop kick, and Buddy Valentino. Very much Tony and...
All right, so I'm skipping forward. So here's another match. It's going to be Dean Malenko against Chris Jericho.
Much like this region.
These guys actually had a good angle together.
They did. Not here, but
yeah, after this. Yeah, later down the line. But
down the line.
This is a cold match.
Arm bars here?
He's the former Cruiserweight champion of the Ball Brawl event.
Arm bars and arm drags.
I don't know. I'm not really going to focus on this match, though. But Ted DiBiase does get up and leave. He's going somewhere. Camera goes on him during this match while Dean Malenko's got one of his 1,000 holds
now
on
he is walking out.
Chris Jericho.
And he's got a beeper on him, and it's beep.
I don't know, security guard proceeding, a policeman proceeding. DiBiase.
I remember those.
He's got to go to the men's room.
Well,
my dad.
Yeah, he got a beep. All right, so I'm skipping that match. We got the Giant now against...
And of course, he's got to go up against the Giant.
Who is that? It's a squash match.
Brad Armstrong is getting
Brad Armstrong.
We knew
Brad Armstrong. Who is that? Do you know who that is?
To the jaw.
Yeah,
I'm told
he was a really good 80s wrestler in NWA.
Well, during this match, something else is coming out.
The arena, the limo is backing in.
The limo.
And if this holds true to form, it can only mean one thing.
Timing,
NWO.
Ted DiBiase
I would think
just
of Ric Flair
left.
arriving right now. I know Ric Flair's already in the
and then the limo comes
right into the hand of the Giant.
Well, this is going to be a victory for the Giant. Another crazy choke slam, the way he used to do them back when he was younger. So that's crazy. But let's see what happens
we
with the
understand,
limousine.
ladies and gentlemen, we're going to show you
Well, if the
outside
NWO is here, there are some people who are going to be really mad at them who are going to want revenge, right, for last week. So,
of course, they're not limo.
following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Is this the same one from Saturday?
It's the same one, huh? Okay, there you go. So it got debuted on Saturday night, but they replayed it here. So I'm gonna skip it since it's just Hogan kind of gloating and being a jerk about being on top. So okay, we get that, but I'm still gonna just forward through it just to save us some time.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
All right. Back to the limousine.
Right,
we're back
we
from
are
break.
Live here on
Cameraman is back there. Oh, 5 seconds till the 9 o'clock hour.
Ominous. The black limousine as we
the restart of the show.
Hour 2.
2 hours. So they treat it like 2 different shows, kind of. They go to the.
Oh, look, Mike Tenay.
Mike
Tenay has joined the crew.
Great to have you with us, buddy. Bobby the Brain Heenan. And we've
First
seen
appearance of the Professor Mike Tenay. Big fan, big fan.
Do you think wrestling now, like, would be a good idea to do, like, if for AEW, I guess, for the second hour, they should do, like, a countdown? Or do you think that's just passe?
Yeah, they should do a countdown, and Mike Tenay should be the commentator.
You mean you like him better than Stockface?
Oh, man, that would be so cool. Bro, Mike Tenay, his years in TNA, bro, he shined. He shined. He became lead commentator, but he was also had all the knowledge of being the wrestling professor. Man, you're the wrestling expert, but he is literally a professor. He has a PhD. Let's hear Mike Tenay talk.
Again, Ted DiBiase is here, the limo in the back. So much going on here in WCW. Unfortunately, there's a lot going on here that we don't fully understand.
They only want to let us know so much. They want to keep us in the dark. They want to make us out to be idiots. We're not idiots here at WCW. You can bring your big black hearse here all you want and drive it real slow. WCW's got some plans for those guys.
And then, as you mentioned, adding the
insult to injury. All right, so they're going to review a little bit about
the spray
chaos from last week, the spray painting of Benoit, Sting, and Mongo McMichael. So
NWO means no wrestling organization because they don't.
This was pretty wild, man. The crowd was throwing stuff at them. This was real ass heat.
And they're proud of it.
Oh yeah,
real ass heat.
Sneak attack, if you will, by the NWO.
Well, Hogan thinks he's shooting the moon. He thinks he's got all the cards in his hand. Just wait and see.
The Giant.
All right, so the next match is Ron Studd against the Macho Man.
NWO, you've got to take Hogan out from the beginning.
Macho Man's got a match tonight.
Here we go.
Man, they keep going back to this limousine thing in the back. All right, so there's Hall and Nash and Hogan.
We got a camera. Stay in the car. Hey, get that camera out of here, man. Get the camera out of here. Keep it in the car. Get the camera out of here.
Get up that camera.
Get the camera out of here.
Yeah, that's true. It kind of gave away their position to the WCW wrestlers. Everyone's got to know now that they're back there.
Look at the handle to the back.
All right, so this is going to be a Macho Man win with an elbow drop. We all know what we're waiting to see in this episode. It's not these matches. They're not bad. They're still putting on a show for the audience in the arena, despite the fact that there's this storyline going on. But here comes the Macho Man, Mean Gene's in the ring to let him cut a promo. So let's listen. We're going to have to listen to the Macho Man.
Set up, if I may, what's coming up in this man's life in the next month and a half. I just happened to be out at the MGM Grand this past week with the Macho Man, Randy Savage. You seem very focused. Halloween Havoc is going to happen out there on the 27th of October. However, you're going to be facing Hulk Hogan at that event. Hollywood Hulk Hogan, a man we know about the past between you and him. But Randy Savage, before that, you've got a gigantic task coming up on the 15th of this month against the 7'4" giant, a man that, well, you think did not carry his load because he's the man that lost the title to Hollywood Hogan, the WCW heavyweight title.
First of all, I wish Halloween Havoc was tonight.
I think these people would concur with that line of thinking.
Because I guarantee to you and to all the zillions of people around the world and the universe that I am going to beat up Hollywood Hulk Hogan and take away everything that he wants. Because that makes me happy.
Randy Savage, you know, there are those that are talking right now behind closed doors about your mental state. Some people are saying that you are living on the edge right now, that you're not too mentally stable.
I'm living on the edge. And if anybody out here is not living on the edge, you're taking up too much room.
That's a good line.
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
I made a deal with you. You made a deal with me. You broke your promise. You couldn't handle the pressure. Bottom line, I take over starting now. You are meat. And I'm guaranteeing victory against the Giant and Hollywood Hulk Hogan. I like the pressure on me. I operate better that way.
Should I be calling Las Vegas? Should I be calling one of the sports books out there? Can I put money down? You guarantee victory?
Las Vegas is my new home.
Both men.
Both men will melt when the heat of the Macho Man brings them all the way down. Oh, yeah!
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. He's predicting this.
Both men will melt when the heat of the Macho Man brings them down. Oh, yeah. All right, so he's taken the mantle as the leader of WCW at this point. He says the Giant couldn't handle it, he failed, and now he's taken over. So it's up to him now, and he guarantees victory, Vlad. Man, thinks a lot of himself.
To the universe.
Yeah. No, Randy Savage is, a hell of a promo. I mean, he doesn't. That wasn't even one of his best ones, but even with that, it's better than like maybe 99.9 of wrestlers in the history of the business. Just that one promo.
It really
He's
seemed like he
fantastic.
came up with it off the top of his head, though. It really seemed that way.
Oh, on the top of his head. Definitely, you definitely can't write this stuff. Yeah, there's no writing this stuff. Yeah, so no.
All right, Robert, you ready for us to move on, man? Let's see what happens with the rest of this show. It's gonna be crazy, dude.
Not only against Hollywood Hogan at Halloween Havoc, but also the Giant at Fall Brawl. Gentlemen, let's go back to you. Unbelievable.
We're going to commercial.
Indeed, and we've got a lot more action coming your way right after this timeout. The Steiner brothers take on Sting and Luger.
The Sting and Lex Express classic tag team. The Steiner brothers. This is a good booking, strong booking. Although Sting, I gotta say, he's in this match. Sting, we're following his retirement angle over on the AEW storyline. If you want to go listen to that. But Sting, you think he want revenge out on the NWO after last week? Like, forget this match. Go find that limousine in the back and go take them out, right, Vlad? I mean. Oh, well, here you go, the Horsemen.
The Horsemen are going to do it.
They're running outside past the production truck. Out to the
Benoit, there's Benoit on the right, Mongo, Arn Anderson and Flair, all four of them.
Careful, be careful.
They open the door to the limo, there's no one in there.
It's empty. They are in the, they've got to be in the building. If they're not in a limo,
they're in the building.
Mongo, brother, we all.
They're back inside
All right, so the Horsemen are out for NWO. To a commercial break. Hey, can you believe that? That's a good commercial break right there, huh? You're definitely coming back from that one.
Way right after this timeout. If they're in the building, we need security in the building.
A lot of security. Now.
Craig, let us in. We know the limo is here. We know Hogan, Hall, Nash, and yes, Ted DiBiase is here. That is all we know right now, but I don't like the way this thing is stacking up, guys. We got tag team action in the ring here. There's a lot going on here on Nitro tonight.
But did you notice there's somebody in that limo they didn't want us to see? Because Hogan said, stay in the limo, shut the doors. And now, when the Horsemen went outside, the limo is empty.
Yeah. What was it that they were trying to hide? That's the question.
Or who was it, Mike?
And how'd they get them into the building? They are in the building. That we do know. I understand security now looking around in the locker room area.
Oh, did you see that? That happened very quickly. The match is over. Nick Patrick is called for the bell.
Wait, what?
He bumped into him. Look, I'll rewind it. Look closely.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God. Nick Patrick lost it.
Right there. Lex and Rick Steiner in a shoulder lock, and Rick Steiner's
just
going
like a lockup, yeah.
Yeah, lock up. He's going to push him off him, and Lex is going to bump into Nick
Building
Patrick.
that we do know. I understand security now looking around in the locker room
That's
area.
Robert Rackham's head coach would be like, this is ridiculous.
The timekeeper doesn't even know. He's like, what the hell's going on? He didn't ring the bell. Now he rings the bell. Sting and Lex are getting in Nick Patrick's face. Furious. They're in Nick Patrick's face. Intense.
Because Luger bumps into him.
been calling it right down the middle all night. He checked these 4 men out when he got in the ring. He's been doing his job. He's been doing a good job.
Nick Patrick following the rule book.
I don't really like officials.
And Sting and Lex stalking him down the ramp, down the entrance ramp. Nick Patrick, at this point, he's running away, basically.
And Nick Patrick heading backstage, Sting, Luger, and I dare say probably the Steiner brothers would like to have a word with him. I don't get it. Nick Patrick, what in the world? Let's see if we can get another look at it here.
Well, Luger and Steiner are locked up, elbow and collar lock up there.
He was just backing Luger up.
I've never seen that ending,
wrong with it.
ever.
Luger,
first time I've ever seen it.
he barely touched him.
Most referees would like fall over and be unconscious for 20 minutes from that.
Way too soon,
It's just a light tap, though.
All right, we got to go to a break. This has been
it didn't look kosher to me.
Vlad, what did you think of that ending?
Well, obviously, if I was there at the event and I wanted to see this match, I'd be kind of upset. But as far as continuing the angle with Nick Patrick and being a crooked ref and all that stuff that they're going with there, obviously it's pretty good. So all his decisions have been under a microscope lately, but that one was the most obviously dumb one. What? Like, if that's a DQ, can you imagine the stuff that happens in AEW matches, for example, and they're not even looked at? But this was a DQ where the referee accidentally.
Let's see what happens down the stretch of the show. Show's coming a little bit down the home stretch.
All right, welcome back. And in case you just joined us, Mike, Bobby, a bizarre twist of events. Nick Patrick, a man who has been under a fair amount of scrutiny here as of late, calls for disqualification in the match because Luger bumped into him. Bobby, I don't get it.
Well, Luger, to me, looked like he didn't do it deliberately. He was shoved by Steiner.
He didn't even see Patrick.
It was an accident.
Okay, so the commentators, they're really selling this. It's not like something that just kind of happened and it brushes over their head. I like how they let it sink in and they continue talking about it.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Dungeon of Doom here is going to be a multi-man tag match. I think it's the whole Dungeon of Doom. Kevin Sullivan, Ray Trailer, and Ming, and Barbarian.
The Barbarian.
With Jimmy Hart. And they're going to face the Four Horsemen. All 4 of the Four Horsemen.
Picking him apart.
Here's the Four Horsemen.
He overreacted.
Well, he said it earlier on, by the letter of the law, gentlemen, that's how he's going to call it. And the rule book says you
probably my favorite
hand an official, but I think there's a fine line there. I mean, he barely touched him.
This is a fucking classic rock guitar riff. The whole Four Horsemen come out with
Elizabeth and Deborah.
Listen to this crowd react to the Four Horsemen. And it really, gentlemen, it is now the Four Horsemen, Sting, Luger, the Giant, Savage, and all left.
If the whole NWO storyline wasn't happening, this would be a big deal main event for Nitro, right? This is
sort of.
This is probably pretty much what they had going on.
Probably prior to the NWO. What they had going on. I agree.
Well, this is the main event of the evening. So it starts with Mongo and Kevin Sullivan. We're going to skip around, but I'm not going to watch this whole match. It's probably a good match. Big Bubba gets tagged in against Mongo, so they're going to go ahead and do their thing. There's Chris Benoit, you know, before he murdered his wife and family. So just had to drop that in. Just had to drop that in. There's the Chris Benoit moment of the night. Okay, so here comes Sting and Luger. They're still chasing Nick Patrick this whole time. He's just been backing away the whole time. And Nick Patrick is, okay, he's running. Nick Patrick is straight up running now. He's running towards the limo.
He didn't. He took a right.
No, he didn't go to the limo, though.
Ted DiBiase has gotten into the limo. Ted DiBiase.
Oh, what is this now?
Limo.
Oh, look at that!
Oh, shit. Sting threw a brick through the window.
Brick through the windshield.
Oh, things are getting out of hand now.
And the limo drives off.
Sting just threw a cement block through the windshield, and they're stealing a cop car. Sting and Luger have lost it. They just stole a police car.
And they're chasing the limousine on the highway with a busted window, and who knows how many men are in that limousine.
Now we saw Ted DiBiase by getting into that.
Okay, let's press pause. Let's press pause. Sting stole a cop car, Vlad. What do you think of it? Is this a monumental moment in wrestling history? There's a limo going down the road with a broken windshield and Sting in a cop car flying down the road. This is crazy. This is what the fuck.
I mean, obviously it's a good moment, but it is a little. He stole a cop car because if you steal a cop car, you're going to jail.
Well, he pushed his cop out of the way. Look,
it's on video. Yeah, that too. All this is on video too. So it's like, how do you get away with this?
Luger have lost it. They just
They don't
stole
care
a
anymore.
police car.
And they're chasing the
Turner got them
limousine
all.
on the highway with a busted window, and who knows how many men are in that limousine.
Now we saw Ted DiBiase by getting into that limo. Nick Patrick made his way out there. I quite frankly was in the shadows. I didn't see if Patrick got in there or not, but we know it was DiBiase. Sting and Luger are going to jail. They just stole a cop car.
Oh, well, of course they're going to be in trouble. You just can't get away with and do something like that. You can't bust the window out of a limousine or out of somebody's car. This is what I'm getting to. This is Hulk Hogan. This is the outsider.
Flair's lost his mind. He's just giving everybody.
Ric Flair is low blowing everybody.
The dirtiest player in the game.
What about a DQ?
Mr. Flair. It's all yours.
I don't know what's going on here. It's hard to follow this match with Sting, with everything that's going on with Sting and everything in the back. I don't know what the fuck. Hey, here's a cop.
The police, and I'm sure there was an APB out on that cop car.
What's he going to tell them back at headquarters?
The police is radioing that his car got stolen.
Sting and Luger, you know, that is uncharacteristic of Sting, Mike, today. He literally picked up a cement block, threw it through the windshield, went after it. The limo.
These commentators are tripping out. They should be tripping out. This is one of the craziest shit ever. This is a good 4-on-4 match. For all the 4-on-4 matches you usually see, though, this is a pretty decent one, I think.
Now we're trying. We've got a monitor here in the
This whole thing broke down.
We are trying.
Everyone's in the ring. Ric Flair's got the figure 4 on Kevin Sullivan.
Sting and Luger.
Is this going to be a tap out?
They're all out on the floor now.
Jimmy Hart just got nailed by Chris Benoit.
Interesting scene here. Chris Benoit looks like woman. Mr. Q to help Ric Flair. And Chris Benoit nudges her to go help him out. And then afterwards they're going to have like a little argument.
Woman with the assist. 1, 2. Woman with the assist.
There you go. Oh my God, this is probably how it looked just before he murdered her.
Well,
oh my God.
back to the classic champion.
Seriously.
Outsiders are here. The outsiders.
Anyways, here's Hall and Nash. Hall and Nash are here. They're beating up the Horsemen. Scott Hall is whooping on Ric Flair. Hogan's there too. All right, they're in full force.
Everybody.
I'm getting out of here, Bischoff.
Nash is in the center of the ring. Where are you going, Heenan?
They're beating up everybody from the Dungeon of Doom, from the 4 Horsemen. There's still only 3 of them
If you're
though.
smart, you'll come with me.
Hogan, Hall, and Nash. They are going after the Dungeon of Doom. They're going after the Horsemen. Mike, today they are going after
The trash is already starting to get thrown in the ring.
They obviously weren't, and now we see the new world.
They weren't in the limo. So Sting and Luger chased them off, but they weren't even in the limo.
They're going after
Ted
everybody.
DiBiase.
Only Ted DiBiase.
So he did his job. He drew them away.
Here comes the Giant. Look out, NWO. Thank God for the Giant. The Giant is in the building.
This is bad. This is literally the crowd is fully.
The Giant is the 4th guy. The Macho Man has arrived with his steel chair.
I remember this so vividly. It's just made. It's literally made.
Jesus Christ. Macho Man looked like he was going to take Hogan's head off with that chair shot. This guy's crazy. Okay, so he's taking on the whole NWO by himself.
Oh, Savage!
They're gonna get him though. There's too many of them. Low blow. Hogan with the low blow. Are they gonna spray paint Savage? That's gonna be terrible. How can Savage go to sleep after getting spray painted by the NWO? He's gonna look for them.
Oh my God! How did you hear that? Oh! We saw this a couple weeks back when he split Savage's head wide open and he nails him against twice with the chair. Look at this. The Giant, the newest member of the NWO. DiBiase
Savage specifically. The referee's down. I don't know why the referee's down.
Everybody's down.
From Hogan
Who took out the referee? And they're leg dropping Randy Savage again and again and again, sending him a message, sending WCW a message. So is the Giant going to be the fourth guy for the War Games match?
This is and McMichael
Mayhem. Mayhem. This is literal mayhem. Second week in a row where it's mayhem.
Oh yeah, there is Macho Man getting sprayed. Oh my god, NWO on his stomach. He had another spray paint can in his pants. Hogan did.
And now they've got yellow paint. Oh man, a yellow
streak. Yellow streak on his back of Randy Savage. Spineless, meaning he's spineless.
Yeah.
Man, this looks like a super stable one, for real. With the Giant now, especially.
No, I mean, there's heat, and then there's this. This is insane heat. This is just insane, dude. The atmosphere is insane. That's why when I was watching this, this was amazing. This was like the best thing I've ever seen. As a kid, are you kidding me? This is insane.
Yeah, well, the Giant turning is pretty shocking too. If you're just looking at what,
extremely shocking.
Well, now we've seen 500 heel and face turns from Giant slash Big Show.
Sure,
but at this point, at this point, this was painful. And they're gonna take over the commentators table. Bischoff is left.
Is the most powerful man in professional wrestling? Is there any question now? What is the most powerful organization in professional wrestling?
Rips off his shirt to show his strength.
We straighten his head out, and now there's not 4, there's not 5. Mr. DiBiase, tell him, big man. I got a phone call while I was sitting home at my modest house. Ted DiBiase called me, and he says, I want to talk to you about business. Can you fly to Florida? I said, yes, I can, because I am about business. I walked into a 25,000 square foot home. The home of Hulk Hogan. There was not. Spit on it for me. Spit on it.
Spitting on the WCW sign that they just ripped off the announcer's table.
When I walked into this house, there wasn't one Harley Davidson in the garage. There were 20 Harley Davidsons. There wasn't one Mercedes. There was 5 Mercedes. A couple of Vipers. I walked around this big home and got dizzy. See you later, boys. Come on, big man. Come on.
We gotta get out of there. The Dungeon of Doom and the Four Horsemen are working out the teams to go to chase off the NWO at this point. There's a melee. This is insane. There's too much going on. I can't even describe this. Everyone's trying to beat up the NWO. They're not really taking them out, though. They're just fighting. I don't really understand how there's so many people and they can't take out these guys. I guess because they're 4 powerful dudes. 4 of the top-notchest superstars you can have.
And then somehow WCW wrestlers retreated and they dispersed, I guess.
Finish his promo. Oh, they took him out.
As I was dizzy walking around this mansion, a 25,000 square foot mansion.
He was enamored by Hulk Hogan's mansion. He thinks, oh, if I join these guys, I can make money like this.
It's about the money. It's about the money.
Every time I turn around, everything I showed you, you can have. You wanted a part in Arnold Schwarzenegger's new movie, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, got it for you. And the bottom line is, brother, just to quote somebody, a stupid little man, whether you like it or whether you don't like it, it's the best thing going today. The NWO. Man, I stood down at a table.
Well, let's hear it. Let's hear some thoughts from Vlad, the wrestling expert.
I mean, that almost brings a tear to my eye. I swear to God, that was so good. That ending was amazing. That's just everything. That ending was just... It was flawless.
The craziest thing was Sting stealing the cop car.
Oh, well, you know, okay, yeah. I probably didn't notice or even think about that when I was like, 9 or 10, but looking back on it, obviously it was probably ridiculous that they stole a cop.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, everything after that, the ruckus and the giant turn, and now he's the 5th member, and everything in between, the whole mayhem, the atmosphere, the crowd going insane. I mean, it was done so well, so organically. I don't think you could replicate something like that. Like, even if they tried today to replicate something like that, they couldn't do it. It was just perfect time, perfect people in place. It was just amazing. It was an amazing time. It was an amazing time for a wrestler.
It started with the Nick Patrick disqualifying Sting and Lex. And then they're chasing him out. And then he ran away. They saw Ted DiBiase. He jumped into the limo. They thought the NWO was in there. Yeah. Sting chases him away. I don't know where Luger was because he wasn't really in that.
No, Luger went with Sting in the car.
Luger jumped in the car with him, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Sting was driving, but Luger was on the passenger side.
All right. Robert, had you ever seen that before?
I just saw from highlights when watching documentaries about the WCW versus WWF wars during the Attitude Era and stuff like that, or the stuff leading up to the Attitude Era. I saw the highlight of that when the Giants turned. I saw that, a little glimpse of that, but yeah.
But the Sting part, how about the Sting part?
No. I never saw that. No, I never saw that.
Yeah. That was awesome, man. I was like, what the fuck is going on? That was hilarious.
Yeah,
well,
pretty ridiculous.
How about a grade for this WCW Nitro?
The whole show didn't seem that great, but the last maybe 30 minutes, I would say, were phenomenal. I don't know how to grade something like that, but based on just the ending, based on the last quarter hour of the show, if you want, that was tremendous. That's as good. When I think of wrestling, I think of a segment like this. This was flawless.
I give this episode an A+, dude. Even with the earlier matches that you say, but dude, that's why it worked. Because you notice throughout those matches, they were talking about the whole NWO angle.
Yep.
They were still keeping it in the loop. And that's perfect. This was a perfect show. It was spot on. It had a heel turn that they built up. It had a great angle. It had one great angle, not like a bunch of stuff going on in the beginning that overshadowed this. They made sure that this was the focal point and took the spotlight. So I think this was spot on. I can't imagine anything better in wrestling. A+.
Yeah, absolutely. No, but I just want to say, I think you make a good point in the sense of you don't want the crowd to be going crazy every segment, right? Like, not every segment has to be a home run. You want them to kind of start here and get to there, right?
Yes, exactly. That's the problem with AEW. They have all kinds of madness throughout the whole show. Like, people are burnt out by the end of the show. There's nothing to cheer. We've already seen all types of craziness.
It's a problem with modern wrestling. They don't know how to build things up, like where it starts here and then gets there. They try to always be here, but some stuff just doesn't hit, right? So you're right.
So for that reason, even though there was matches I didn't really care to watch, like, Chris Jericho against Dean Malenko, or I forgot what the other ones were, Stud. Yeah, but, despite all that, dude, I still think it can't do better than that. You cannot do better. It was a perfectly
you can't do better than that. That ending of the show, you can't do better.
It was a perfectly acted show, like for all the wrestlers, if you want to call them actors, like from Nick Patrick to Sting chasing him away, to him running away to the back, to the NWO doing the whole thing at the end, and the Giant's promo about business and money.
Yeah.
Let's get some thoughts from Robert. Robert, you'll close out our show today. You've never seen this before completely.
No, I've never seen it. If I were to judge it just based on the ending, A+. Fantastic.
Yeah, for sure.
I see what you're saying about like how they're trying to build it up to the end. I get that, but I would still give it an A- because some of the matches I don't care about, but that's a very, very high grade. I never give A- for like almost any show. So
yeah, exactly.
So for me to grade it that high it says a lot. So, but yeah, definitely for sure. If it was only grading that ending, easy A+.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, then. That'll do it for today. Sorry, I've already kept you guys for about 2.5 hours, including all the other segments we talked about. modern WWE and AEW. So I have to thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed that. We'll continue this journey of WCW throughout 96 and 97 until we get tired of it. But right now, it's really enjoyable stuff. So hopefully we can keep this going. If you fans out there are enjoying this, hit subscribe, watch the older videos, get caught up. And we're here for you, man. Anything you need, just let us know. All right, that'll be it for this episode of the Malapert Smart Wrestling Podcast. For Robert, for Vlad, I'm Kahan. We'll see you on the next one.